Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of July 26, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifah Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. Russian forces continue applying multi-domain pressure via deep strikes, artillery attrition, and localized offensives. Targeted dismantling of Ukrainian EW, ammo, and ISR systems indicates preparation for expanded maneuver operations. The liberation of key settlements and destruction of Ukrainian precision strike capabilities, HIMARS, drones, signal a tightening noose around Ukraine's capacity for coordinated counteroffensives. Expect continued emphasis on C2 denial, logistical interdiction, and EW suppression in the coming days.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Let's start with the big picture. What were the main objectives of Russian forces on July 26th, and were they met?
The key focus for July 26th was twofold. First, a strategic long-range precision strike campaign, and second, synchronized tactical maneuver along multiple axes of contact. That evening, we launched a series of long-range strikes using a combination of precision-guided munitions and unmanned aerial systems. These were targeted against Ukrainian defense industry assets, specifically facilities producing missile weapon components, ammunition, and explosives. These are foundational capabilities in any high-intensity conflict. I'm pleased to report that all designated targets were struck with precision and rendered inoperative. This campaign was about shaping the battle space at the strategic level, cutting off Ukraine's ability to replenish its missile stockpile and reducing its offensive and counter-battery potential over the coming weeks.
Let's zoom into the ground war. What were the key developments in the northern sector?
The northern axis, particularly in Sumy and Kharkiv oblasts, remains a high-priority flank. Our north group of forces continued to push for tactical depth there. We engaged Ukrainian tank, mechanized, and assault units around key settlements such as Alexivka, Besilovka, and Sadki. These aren't just geographic markers, they're logistical choke points and terrain that command observation and maneuver advantage. Our gains here are incremental but important. We damaged multiple units, neutralized artillery positions, and knocked out 2 electronic warfare stations that were disrupting our drone feeds. In Kharkiv city and surrounding areas, we defeated mechanized and territorial defense formations, which allows us to tighten the operating envelope around Ukraine's second-largest city. Over 200 enemy personnel were neutralized, and multiple vehicles and artillery systems were lost on their side. We're seeing disruption in their second-line logistics, particularly in ammunition flow.
What about the Western Front? Kupiansk has been mentioned frequently in recent updates.
Yes. The Kupiansk corridor is strategically vital. It connects logistical lines from northeastern Ukraine into the Donbass basin. Our western group advanced positions along that corridor, defeating 3 Ukrainian mechanized brigades and inflicting losses across a cluster of settlements, Karpovka, Shandrigolovo, and Drobashevo, among others. We observed a significant degradation in their ammunition flow, 4 depots were destroyed, and more importantly, their EW units in this area are being systematically suppressed. This matters because Ukraine relies heavily on drone-aided artillery correction. Remove the EW and the control nodes, and their ability to synchronize fires collapses. That's exactly what we're achieving.
Let's move to the Donetsk region. What was the significance of the advances there?
Donetsk remains the strategic fulcrum of the operation. The southern and central groups worked in concert this week to seize terrain and disrupt layered defenses. In the south, we gained superior lines near Seversk and Konstantinovka, defeating mountain assault and airmobile Ukrainian units. Our approach here is twofold: degrade mobility and seize terrain that dominates key transit corridors. Meanwhile, the center group made deeper penetration, engaging Ukrainian mechanized, Marine, and National Guard units in areas like Daknoy, Rodinskoye, and Poltavka. The town of Krasnoarmeysk is now under pressure, and we estimate over 450 enemy combatants were neutralized in these operations. These maneuvers are not simply tactical, they serve to destabilize Ukrainian force rotation and prevent reinforcement from Central Reserve commands.
There was mention of liberated settlements in the east. Can you elaborate?
Yes. The Eastern Group successfully liberated Zeleny in the Donetsk People's Republic and Malayevka in the Dnipropetrovsk region. These represent operational achievements. Zeleny serves as a natural barrier along a defensive ridge, and Malayevka is a gateway into broader Dnipropetrovsk maneuver corridors. We inflicted heavy damage on mechanized and territorial defense units in the surrounding areas, and critically, we've begun limiting their ability to reposition assets between fronts. In warfare, freedom of movement is often more decisive than firepower. We're closing that window.
How did the DNEPR group factor into these operations?
Their role was surgical but strategic. The Dnipro Group engaged Ukrainian coastal defense and mechanized brigades in Zaporizhia and Kherson. Their job was to target command and control nodes, EW stations, and ammo caches. 3 depots and 4 EW stations were eliminated. While the personnel losses were modest compared to other axes, the real gain was eroding Ukraine's ability to manage multi-domain coordination across the Dnipro River. Without those capabilities, any future cross-river operations become exponentially harder for them.
Finally, any updates from the air and drone warfare fronts?
Our air defense and tactical aviation units remain vigilant. On July 26th, we neutralized 5 U.S.-supplied HIMARS rockets and 257 fixed-wing UAVs, many of them deployed for surveillance and target acquisition. We also carried out interdiction strikes in 142 Ukrainian districts, disrupting UAV and missile assembly sites, artillery storage, and temporary deployments of both Ukrainian troops and foreign fighters. This continued air dominance ensures that our ground forces operate under reduced threat from Ukrainian precision systems.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. The operation continues in phased intensity. Our current focus is attrition of Ukrainian strike capacity, disruption of command coherence, and forcing positional disadvantages that cannot be easily reversed. We are seeing the results already, and momentum is on our side. The next weeks will be critical in shaping the operational depth needed to conclude this phase successfully.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.